We're talking about Apple. Of course, Apple, the new iPad goes on sale. Everyone's out there online waiting for it. It's a big thing. The hype machine's in overdrive. You can't get enough of it, except in the stock market. Very interesting. Apple shares not really doing anything today. In fact, they're actually down. Let's talk about Apple. Let's talk about valuations. Let's talk about Tomi Kilgore. Tomi, how are you?
Okay.
All right, so Apple yesterday touched $600. Not there today, though, right?
No, we're starting to come off a little. It's just kind of hanging around. I mean, it seems like, you know, when it goes down, it's like a big news story. But the fact that, you know, we're still kind of close to that level. It could, you know, as we've seen Apple stock move recently, it can move 20 bucks in a heartbeat. So
right, and the rise has been so steady. You would expect that it's going to get over that and close over that.
The iPad news is pretty much priced in at this point.
Yeah, you think really?
It's frothy. The stuff that's on there now is just kind of frothy. It feels like.
Now we had an editorial in the paper yesterday from Andy Kessler talking about Apple shares and the valuation, and the point he really made is that, great, it's worth, you know, whatever it's worth right now at this second, $580, $600 right now, but what is going to happen in the future? Where is it going to go in the future? What is Apple going to do? They really are setting themselves up. They're setting a very high bar for themselves. They need to maintain that to keep this valuation going. Do you agree with that, Tomi? What do you think What do you think is really behind Apple's valuation?
Well, I think what they can't do is change. They just keep doing what they're doing. If you think back when when Google started to come off, it's when they started to change. They started to buy wireless spectrum, and you know, when they start changing their model and they start looking to different things, that's when investors stop valuing it the way they're valuing it now. So just keep doing what you're doing and let's just see what happens. And then when it starts to fall, then you can start changing. But until it starts to fall, there's no reason to change anything. Adding a dividend, adding buyback, you know, all those kind of things.
They are sitting on a mountain of money. I mean,
right.
At some point, you got to do something with that, right? Right?
Only when the stock starts to fall, I think. Don't do anything until no reason to change.
You're a close watcher of technical analysis, and so are there some things that investors can look for right now in Apple's technical picture?
Well, one thing I've noticed is other times that the stock has pulled back significantly. I'm not talking about, you know, hundreds of dollars. I'm talking about 10%, 15%, which is a pretty decent pullback. The stock is overbought. The RSI is above 70, but that's fine. The ability to be overbought is actually a good thing. Because all it means is that the stock is in a bull market. It's able to move differently than it did in the past, which is a good thing. It's when that RSI drops below 70 and it can't be overbought anymore, that's when you start to see trouble in the stock.
Are there any, you know, significant levels maybe today, or?
Well, that's what we've looked at the actual nominal levels of the stock, and, you know, we have these support levels, and there's a gap from 2 days ago that, you know, if it drops below that, but those kind of things haven't worked. We had a huge reversal signal a few months ago, or even a couple weeks ago, and it kept going. So rather than look at the nominal levels of the stock, you look at these underlying technicals that show that the stock isn't able to do what it used to do over the last few weeks.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Tomi Kilgore, thank you very much.